sharing news and, of course, to further strengthen the operational capabilities, administrative stability, and guarantee the smooth implementation of government policies across ministries, departments, and agencies. The Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has approved the appointment of 9 new permanent secretaries in the public service of the state. A statement from the State Head of Service, Mr. Kendi Onosoya, stated that the appointments were made by the Governor in line with the provision of Section 208C of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and having considered merit, professionalism, inclusiveness, and the coordinate experience in the civil public service of the state. The head of service explained that the permanent secretary designates were carefully selected from the pool of directors that were successful in the Ogun State Executive Leadership Development Pipeline Program, from which top-level appointments are made. The new permanent appointees are Mr. Abdul Laziz Oludare Ajidele, Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, Ministry of Justice; Mrs. Olufunmilayo Yetunde Shoyoye Baker, Director of Agriculture and State Coordinating Director, Cash Transfer Unit; Mrs. Adebimpe Folusho Obieno, Director of Public Prosecution, Ministry of Justice; Dr. Mrs. Kafayat Mutupe Lawal, Executive Secretary, Alternate Medicine Board; Mr. Ahmed Bayo Adetono, Director of Audit, Office of Auditor General, State; Mr. Idowu Oladapo Onosoya, State Director of Administration and Supplies, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs; Mr. Olalekan Peter Taiwo, Director of Payment, State Treasury Office; Mr. Akintomiwa Oluwagbeminiyi Oshibodu, Director of Administration and Supplies, Teaching Service Commission; and Engineer Kehinde Olukayode Akintomide, Director of Industrial Promotion, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. In a related development, the Governor has also approved the appointment of 2 Principals General and 4 Head Teachers General to fill the vacant position within the top echelon of the Teaching Service Commission and the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, and to further strengthen administrative processes in the education sector of the state. The new Principals General are Mr. Matthew Adeyinka Oshilesi, Remo Division; Mr. Yakubu Olorunyomi Lamidi, Ijebu Division. The Head Teachers General include Mr. Benjamin Olusegun Alonge, Ijebu Division; Mrs. Aminat Folake Busari, Remo Division; Mr. Olusegun Nathaniel Akapo, Yewa Division; Mrs. Folake Omolara Onobanjo, Egba Division. The Head of Service explained that the appointees were selected from among candidates who were earlier shortlisted, following a rigorous selection process which included an oral interview and a comprehensive screening exercise which involved inspection and assessment of the scores of the shortlisted candidates based on criteria such as academic performance in external examinations and competitions, the tone of the school, statutory records, staff relations, maintenance of facilities, and personal attributes. While expressing hearty congratulations to the new appointees, they are charged to demonstrate utmost dedication, absolute devotion, and selflessness in their new roles, and to relentlessly pursue excellence in service by becoming major stakeholders and contributors to the developmental effort of the Gateway State through the Building Our Future Together agenda of the administration of Prince Dapo Abiodun, Governor of Ogun State. Mr. Onosoye said the swearing-in ceremony of the new appointees shall be conducted by the Governor in due course. Nigeria has reached a major governance milestone as the Federal Civil Service officially transitioned to a fully paperless system, marking the completion of a nationwide digitization drive across ministries and extra-ministerial departments. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Watson-Jack, announced the development in Abuja at a press briefing describing it as a decisive break from decades of paper-based bureaucracy. According to her, as of the close of business on Tuesday, December 30, 2025, all federal ministries and extra-ministerial departments had complied with presidential and administrative directives to operate entirely through digital workflows. She said the achievement represents a significant step in public sector reform, strengthening accountability, transparency, institutional memory, and service delivery, while aligning Nigeria's governance framework with global best practices. Watson Jack stressed that the paperless milestone was the outcome of years of deliberate and incremental reforms driven by successive heads of the civil service of the Federation. The reform momentum, she added, was consolidated under Dr. Folashade Yemi through the Federal Civil Service Strategy 2021 to 2025, which expanded ECM into a broader digital content services agenda. And ahead of January 1, 2026, implementation of the new national tax regime, the Ondo State government has approved a new tax bill for transmission to the State House of Assembly for consideration and passage into law. The approval was granted at the State Executive Committee presided over by Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa. Briefing journalists after the meeting, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Lua Kayode, said the proposed legislation is in line with the state's commitment to harmonizing its fiscal policies with the forthcoming federal tax reforms scheduled to take effect on January 1, 2026. Ajule explained that the bill is aimed at ensuring Ondo State's tax framework aligns with national standards as provided under the Nigerian Tax Act 2025 and all the related reforms. According to him, the proposed law will enhance efficiency, promote transparency, and support sustainable revenue generation, while also offering relief to low-income earners and small businesses. He added that the approval represents a proactive step by the state government towards integrating Ondo State into Nigeria's evolving national tax system with the goal of fostering economic growth, improving public service delivery, and creating a more equitable tax environment. Education infrastructure in rural communities continues to receive a boost through private sector intervention as stakeholders partner government to improve learning conditions for pupils. One of such efforts is recorded in Ijebu Northeast local government area of Ogun State, where the Matleno Foundation has commissioned and handed over several educational and health facilities to the state government at St. John's Anglican Primary School. Our correspondent, Benga Dekoya, was there. His report is presented in this package.
Maleno Foundation is a non-governmental organization established to promote the well-being of the aged, widows and children, particularly in rural communities. Following a series of free medical outreach programs across Ijebu Northeast, the foundation turned its attention to Odo Shimadegun as St. John's Anglican Primary School undergoes a major transformation. Facilities commissioned include a state-of-the-art solar-powered ICT center, a well-equipped sick bay, a standard resource-oriented library, modern sporting facilities, an amusement park, school beautification works, and a perimeter fence.
Our school has been blessed through the selfless incarnation of the Maleno Foundation under the visionary leadership of Dr. Adekule, who has brought transformation worth of 45 million to our doorstep.
The Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, was represented at the event.
Government expects or desire private-public partnership with its institutions. There is no place in the world that you can have government alone handling school activities, because the work for the government is so enormous. We deal into health, environment, and different sectors of the economy.
President of the Maleno Foundation, Dr. Adekule Ogunfuwa, commends the state government's commitment to education and assures of continued support from the foundation.
You never forget your roots. I was born, raised up in this community, and attended this school. When I came back from abroad, I move around to see how can we give back to the community that gave us. We've been going on for years now, and we try to identify areas we can make an impact.
Chairman of Ijebu Northeast Local Government, Honorable Folusho Badijo, expresses appreciation for the gesture, noting that development thrives when government and private organizations work together.
This edifice, these monumental facilities will not take our eyes off it. We are going to make sure that, for example, like I said in my speech, we're going to make sure that the facilities are well secured, because security is one of our major business.
Goodwill messages also came from the Education Secretary, the Zonal Education Officer, community leaders, and other notable personalities. The highlight of the ceremony was the official commissioning of the projects and a guided tour of the newly completed facilities.
All public and private primary and secondary schools, as well as government technical colleges in Ogun State, are to resume for second-term academic session on Monday, 5th January 2026, in line with approved Ogun State government academic school calendar for 2025-2026 academic session. According to a release by the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, schools are expected to commence academic activities immediately. Professor Arigbabu advised parents and guardians to prepare their wards for the resumption. Still ahead, Nigeria pledges to deepen strategic partnership with China in 2026. We'll bring you details of these and more after the break. Please stay with us. Back. The Ogun State Ministry of Transportation has taken note of reports circulating in the media regarding the road traffic incident at Danko area along the Lagos-Shagamu Expressway on Monday, 29th December 2025. The ministry extends its heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased, sympathizes with all persons affected by the unfortunate and tragic incident, and commend the swift action of the emergency services in response to the incident. The ministry wishes to clarify that investigations into the circumstances and probable causes of the incident are currently ongoing. Information reported in sections of the media at this time largely represent a preliminary eyewitness account, which remain interim and subject to verification. Accordingly, members of the public are advised to exercise restraint and refrain from speculation or premature conclusions until the conclusion of investigations and the release of official findings by the relevant authorities. Members of the public are reminded to utilize the National Emergency Number 112, which provides nationwide access to emergency response services. Other vital emergency contact details are listed below. Trace and other first response agencies remain fully deployed and on standby to respond promptly to distress situations on Ogun State roads. Numbers to call in the case of emergency: Ogun State Ambulance Service 112 or 08112000033. Trace emergency lines 0706 942 5555, 0802 414 9595, 0806 270 3568. Nigeria has expressed its readiness to consolidate and deepen its comprehensive strategic partnership with China in 2026. The Director General and Global Liaison of the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership, Mr. Joseph Tegbe, said the focus would remain on cooperation that directly support Nigeria's development priorities. These include economic diversification, infrastructure development, human capital growth, technology transfer, and long-term sustainability. Speaking on the future of the partnership, Tegbe expressed confidence that collaboration between both countries would continue to strengthen and mature. According to him, sustained engagement and shared commitment by Nigeria and China would ensure the delivery of lasting outcomes that advance their common vision of a China-Nigeria community with a shared future. He also noted that the federal government has consistently upheld the One China principle as the cornerstone of its diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. The House of Representatives has proposed a constitutional amendment to safeguard the life of an unborn child carried by a pregnant woman sentenced to death. The proposal followed the adoption of a bill by the House Committee on Constitution Review chaired by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. The bill seeks to amend Section 33, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution, which provides that every person has the right to life and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life, save in execution of a sentence of a court in respect of a criminal offense of which he has been found guilty in Nigeria. Under the proposed amendment, a new subsection 1A would be inserted to state, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 1 of this section, where a pregnant woman is convicted of an offense punishable by death, and it is proved to the satisfaction of the court that she is pregnant, the court shall sentence her to life imprisonment. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023, has officially joined with the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress, ADC. Obi announced his defection in Enugu. The former governor of Anambra said his defection ahead of the 2027 election is aimed at transforming and rescuing Nigeria. Obi also urged opposition leaders to come together as a family under the leadership of David Mark to rescue Nigeria. As political activities gradually gather momentum ahead of the 2027 general elections, key stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun East continue to strengthen grassroots mobilization across local communities. One of such efforts is the coming together of party leaders, community representatives and supporters to review the year and reinforce unity within the party structure. In Ijebu North local government area, a chieftain of the APC and close ally of Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adeola, Prince Fatai Adeshegun, has hosted an end-of-year meeting for party faithful across the 11 wards of the council area, with food items and cash gift distributed to support residents during the festive season. Bumi Adigo reports.
The Ogun East Assembly is a political mobilization platform established to unite party leaders, stakeholders and residents of Ijebu North local government area in preparation for future electoral engagements. Over the years, the platform has served as a forum for political dialogue, community engagement and coordination of party activities, while also facilitating grassroots outreach programs aimed at promoting development across the 11 wards of the local government. Prince Fatai Adeshegun, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and a close ally of Senator representing Ogun West Senatorial District Solomon Olamilekan Adeola, hosts an end-of-the-year stakeholders meeting in Ijebu North local government area of Ogun State.
This is an APC program, and that is what we have been expecting. At least we expect our members who have the interest of our party members to come around often and often, so that the members can have the benefit of democracy, that is dividends of democracy. So, and this is yellow type, this is the time of Xmas and New Year period. So our members are eager to see what the party will offer them.
The gathering held at the popular Omoilu ground in Ijebu draws party leaders, ward executives and stakeholders from across the 11 wards of the council area.
Just to show a kind of love, is end of year and we're about to begin another year. So in my own capacity as a son of the soil, and also to use it to honor our leaders as you can see the flyers, the signboard, and also the banners to pray for our governor who has started well, to end the pace, and also to hand over to the next person. And by the grace of God, we are also urging our people to prepare the ground for my own boss, Senator Olamilekon Adeola Yayi, for his own election. He wants to contest for governor.
As part of the event, no fewer than 200 bags of rice, 300 cartons of noodles, and cash gifts were distributed to various wards, groups, and associations. Beneficiaries of the gesture include religious bodies, traditional rulers, market men and women, youth and women groups, artisans, as well as persons living with special needs.
The entire meaning of democracy and politics is to get to the people, make them happiest. And what Fatai Adeseku is doing is distributing like this promise hard-earned income to make sure people in Ijebu North, from all walks of life within Ijebu North, very happy. And I congratulate him and I thank him for doing what politicians should have done, for doing and adding to what government is doing.
Bumi Adigun, Ogtv News.
The Lions Club International, Region 7, Outer Axis District 404B3 Nigeria, has demonstrated its commitment to humanitarian service with a special outreach to elderly homes in Ogun State. The intervention, held in Ota, combines festive season goodwill with the solemn remembrance of late Lion Funmi Akintade, a respected service icon remembered for her passion for humanity and care for the aged. Lydia Lawyer reports.
Humanitarian service took center in Ota as members of the Lions Club International, Region 7, Ota Axis District 404B3 Nigeria, marked 5 years in the loving memory of a renowned service queen and former chief of staff to the district governor, late Lion Funmi Akintade. As part of the remembrance, the club visited 2 homes for the elderly, presenting essential food items including bags of rice, beans, and other consumables, alongside fabrics aimed at improving the comfort of the aged residents.
We decided to celebrate our friend. The children also work in conjunction with us to serve humanity and remember her 5th year anniversary, anniversary of her demise with our mothers and fathers here. This is what she loves to do. We felt that 5 years is a milestone and we should celebrate it.
December and January, we have, under Lions Club International, we have the relieving hunger. So we go to homes, but because of our, the remembrance of our late mommy, we chose to be here today.
Speaking during the outreach, leaders of the Lions Club International, Region 7 Ota Axis, described late Lion Funmi Akintade as a selfless servant whose life is devoted to uplifting humanity. They explained that the annual Remembrance Initiative reflects our enduring love for service, particularly a concern for the welfare of the elderly, noting that the donations to Center for Happy Elderly People align with the Lions Club Global Humanitarian Mission.
Calling everybody because one person cannot do the work. So we are calling for, people to carry out the same thing. And at the same time, we need support.
Management and caregivers of the beneficiaries' elderly homes express gratitude to the Lions Club for the gesture, describing the support as timely and impactful. They note that the food items and fabrics will significantly enhance the well-being of the residents, while commending the club for sustaining the humanitarian ideas of the late service icon.
We pray that God will enrich all your purse, and we are going to give it to them. We are going to cook all the food items for every one of them. So we have our meal plan for all of them, the way they take the food according to their health status.
The outreach concludes with prayers and reflection in honor of late Lion Funmi Akintade, as members reaffirm their commitment to continuous service to humanity and to preserving a legacy of compassion, dedication, and selfless leadership. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv.
A new leadership chapter has opened in Ogun State Information Technology sector as the Nigeria Computer Society Ogun State chapter inaugurates a new executive council led by Mr. Olatunde Tijani. The investiture ceremony held alongside the Ogun State IT Merit Awards at Spices Event Hall in Abeokuta draws government officials, academics and industry leaders to celebrate excellence and digital innovation. Mr. Tijani formally assumes office after taking the oath administered by national officers of the Nigeria Computer Society, with other members of the Executive Council also sworn in to steer the affairs of the chapter. In his acceptance speech, the new chairman describes his emergence as a call to service, unveiling an agenda focused on digital inclusion, skills development, completion of the chapter secretariat, and stronger policy engagement under the Isheya mantra. The event also features the presentation of IT Merit Awards with Ogun State Commissioners Olaolu Olabincho and Professor Abayomi Arigwabo honored as IT Ambassadors of the Year. Mr. Femi Williams named IT Legend of the Year and Edu Tams emerging as a Company of the Year. The Nigerian Air Force has recorded one of its most successful operational years, neutralizing 2,351 terrorists through 274 air interdiction missions, flown in 379 combat sorties across multiple theaters in 2025. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, NAV Air Commodore Ehimene Jordan in Abuja. Jordan said the air interdiction missions targeted terrorist strongholds, logistics hubs, training camps, and critical mobility corridors. He said the figures excluded hundreds of additional air power missions involving intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, close air support to surface forces, and armed reconnaissance operations. According to him, the AI missions alone accumulated approximately 800 flight hours, underscoring the now sustained reach, persistence, and operational dominance. In the maritime and energy security domain, Joe Dem said that precision air operations in the Niger Delta delivered equally strategic dividends. He said that targeted strikes led to the destruction of hundreds of illegal mining reservoirs, 126 storage tanks, and several boats used by oil thieves and criminal syndicates. Up next is business news with Adebola Oshomaji. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you on the business segment of the news. The federal government has disclosed plans to introduce tax exemption cards for small businesses and informal operators under Nigeria's ongoing tax reform. This comes as part of efforts to shield low-income earners from multiple taxes and levies. This was revealed by the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Yedele, while speaking to the journalist on Wednesday. According to him, the reform is deliberately designed to shift Nigeria's tax system away from what he described as a regressive structure that disappointed the taxes of the most vulnerable. Financial institutions will start charging senders a 15 naira stamp duty on electronic transfers of 10,000 naira and above from January 1, 2026, following the implementation of the Tax Act. This was disclosed in notices sent by Nigerian banks to their customers ahead of the policy's implementation. The stamp duty or electronic money transfer levy is a single one-off charge of 15 naira on electronic receipt or transfer of money deposited in any commercial money bank or financial institution on any type of account on sums of 10,000 naira and above. In an email sent to customers on Tuesday, the United Bank for Africa, UBA, said the 15 naira EMTL on transfers will now be referred to as stamp duty across all financial institutions. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited recorded a profit after tax of 502 billion naira in November 2025, sustaining its profitability streak despite a decline in crude oil and condensate production during the month. The figures from the NNPCL Monthly Financial and Operations Report for November 2025, released on Wednesday, showed that the National Oil Company also generated 4.36 trillion naira in revenue, reflecting a marginal increase compared with October, as improved gas output, full pipeline availability, and steady domestic fuel supply offset upstream production challenges. Crude oil and condensate production averaged 1.36 million barrels per day in November, recovering slightly from 1.30 million barrels per day recorded in October, but still below the year's peak of 1.77 million barrels per day achieved earlier in 2025. The November output, however, marked the first rebound after 3 consecutive months of decline between August and October. And lastly, on the business segment of the news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, predicts external reserves will climb to $51.04 billion in 2026, up from $45 billion in 2025. This projection was contained in the Macroeconomic Outlook for Nigeria 2026, titled Consolidating Macroeconomic Stability Amid Global Uncertainty, published by the CBN on Tuesday. The reporters said that Nigeria's external reserves as of Monday, 29 December 2025, stood at $45.45 billion, following days of steady accretion. The external reserves are projected at $51.04 billion in 2026, compared with $45.01 billion in 2025. The external reserves are expected to be boosted by reduced pressure in the FX market based on the anticipated rise in oil earnings, sovereign bond issuance, and diaspora remittance inflows.